Hey, kid. Heard you don't much appreciate what happened to you. Yeah, I know it's rough. That's how it is with Nosferatu. Oh, wonder how I got this pretty face just like you. Yeah, that's uh, that's quite a story, and one I'll save for another time. Right now, I'm more concerned about letting you know what's what. That's okay. It's okay, kid. I take time to get to know the neonates. That's our term for new kid on the block. That's how they call it anyway these days. Me, Bartholomew Bonche, at your service. Well, you're wondering how somebody like me ended up managing and getting the title of Primogen. I'm surprised you know what the hell that thing means. Well, it's really not too difficult when you end up sticking to the rules. I'm sure your sire already told you the tenets, rules that end up binding us all. Well, that's how if you want to stay above ground. There's a little bit more to it than that. No, I want you to relax. It's okay, it's okay. Look, just because I look like I ended up deciding to French kiss a cheese grater doesn't mean that you can't end up enjoying a little bit of time, especially down here in the Warrens sewers of our fair city. Yeah, I think you'll do nicely around here. Figured I'd end up giving you a little bit of insight in how we keep things afloat. First thing you gotta know is every kindred is doing the same goddamn thing, trying to snatch it all up, all those little crumbs that are left over from big three-course meals. What am I talking about? I'm talking on how the Toreador happens to hang on to railroads. I'm talking about how Ventru own airports and banks. You end up noticing, you look around, you'll notice that almost everything's taken up, but not quite everything. So the first rule is get to know what's up. Now, we're kind of renowned for getting our fingers in a lot of pies and a lot of ways to end up climbing up. There's a few ways you can influence the world without ever needing to really show your face to it. Ah, come on now. I know you're not that bright, but let's run over a couple. See, maybe, just maybe, you first look around and realize that there's not a lot of people who know how to end up keeping things quiet. That's how neonates get these days. Everyone thinks that they can solve a problem with a bit of plastique or maybe 12 gauge double tap right to the back of the head. Maybe they just want to end up draining their problems dry. Sorry, getting a little peckish myself. No. There's so much more to it. Look around you. I mean, take a hard look around you. Get to know people. And you can't be sociable with that face. Bullshit. All it takes is knowing the right people. And quite frankly, if you hear the whispers, you're eventually going to figure out one or two kindred you can go up to and engage. Don't be afraid of engaging. They're afraid of engaging with you, especially with the way you look. They know what clan you're from. They're gonna try and keep secrets too, but the harder they cling, the more little things tend to fall through the fingertips. So keep your ear out. Second of all is eventually every neonate falls into the same problem. They're gonna start crying about what woes and what ails them. The biggest mistake you can end up making is saying, I got it worse. Nah. If they have trusted you that much, they're end up letting you in on those little things. Feel free to listen. You might notice repeating patterns. I'll tell you a good one that always ends up right across the new kids is getting rid of a body and staying mobile. Really, if you just happen to have a car that looks like a cab, you can get away with a lot of shit, especially moving bodies. Most cabbies don't actually end up getting pulled over too frequently. I'm not sure if you noticed that. We do, though. We notice all those little details. Might have something to do with us knowing the popo. That's what the kids call it these days, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so once you know what the heck's up, you start realizing what's needed and how do you work your way to getting it. Well, maybe you thought if you ever embraced this venture, you'd look him in the eye, say a few magic words, and puff it. Problems disappear. Not your skill set. No. Look at you. You're that big badass kind of guy, right? Lurking around the shadows, cracking necks. Oh, yeah. I remember those days. To be young again. Well, what do you do? Well, first off, I would suggest start looking into the kind people, the ones walking around with no sunscreen and not worrying about getting burst into flames. You remember them, you probably meet them on a nightly basis, though. You're probably just thinking of them as a blood sack. Nah, there's so much more than that. They're that key to owning cities. City with no people and all kindred isn't gonna last more than a night. And after that, they start eating each other. It's actually pretty funny. But I expect better of you. Sorry, got maggot in my. Ah. Love it when they pop like that. Reminds me of popcorn. But where was I? Oh yeah. People still with a heartbeat. Look for somebody who might be interesting, has a useful skill set, maybe an interesting position. Don't do it directly, though. No. That's what everybody's mistake is that they would figure, oh, I'm going to go after this big CEO of a company and then maybe give them a taste. I can work for the amateur. Big leagues, though, somebody notices. Somebody always notices. It's all about those degrees of separation. One of the nice ways of going about it, stop looking at the head guy and start looking at the kid in the mailroom. The one who's got a lot of gumption, wants to end up moving up, works hard. Why shouldn't he be rewarded for his hard work instead of staying in the mailroom? Well, maybe, just maybe, he hears a voice late at night asking him how he feels about moving up in the world. See what his moral standing's like. Panic and run. You gotta do some research, otherwise you might be disposing of some extra meat in the back of a cab. But if you do it right, find out who you're dealing with. Maybe somebody with a secret you can manipulate. Cheating on the wife's always a classic. Maybe heavily in debt. Somebody who's you can put the squeeze on. Oh, if you're real classy, you can put the squeeze on them. You know, those little things that make issues pile up, like car got wrecked and all of a sudden back door got broken into, a bunch of valuables stolen. All of a sudden they're in a bad place. But suddenly their luck turns around by a mysterious stranger. Someone who says, I'm someone who looks after people. And you say you notice their hard work. You butter them up just a little bit, just a bit. I mean, what is it if you don't end up lubing them up a little before you bend them over the table? When they are happy to end up helping, if only they be saved from their plight, you start going to work. And suddenly, maybe Teresa, who happens to be working as a secretary, gets bumped off. I don't kill her. I just mean, like, I don't know, unfortunate business involving family. She has to move out. Maybe she went on vacation. Maybe she's got her own dirty little secrets. Yeah, get her to back off. Get her scared. Good enough to start saying she wants to change her job, change her address, move away. Maybe she can get away from this crazy stalker who just happens to follow her around. Well, all of a sudden there's a vacancy. You can bump your boy from the mailroom on up. If you're real good at it, you start realizing that as they grow, as they reach loftier heights, they start becoming a little bit more useful. It's the long-term investments. And right now, this is one of the hardest parts most kids don't have, is they don't think long-term, still thinking like, well, human beings. Yeah, it's important to hang on to humanity. I didn't get that part too late, but hey, I'm still here. Now, if these little investments, as a venture would call it, stop panning out, you start pushing, shoving, you can get some attention. But you get the attention from the right people who know that you have access to a certain degree of skill sets, or a certain degree of knowledge. It's all okay. Let me give you a few thoughts. Banks are good, but banks always need drivers. Yeah, armored cars. And, of course, money needs exchanged somehow. Receptionists find are always fun doing that. No one really looks at them twice. Everybody says hello. More often than not, buy them flowers, or maybe just ask them to suck their dick. But when it ends up coming down to it, everybody loves a secretary who can keep her mouth shut. Except you, if you're classy enough. Maybe she'll be happy once you end up putting a paper bag over your face. Relax, kid, relax. I don't need you getting antsy. I need you figuring this shit out. See, when I run into new kids, they're all happy that they tough as a ton of bricks. That they have long claws, think they're some kind of comic book hero. Some think that because I can twist around in the old nugget, that I got real power. Power doesn't come from what you can do by the gifts of the blood. The gifts of the blood are just your entryway into gaining real power. At the end of the day, we all need blood. We all need the kind. Get in to start controlling them a little bit. You start realizing power falls right into your hands, especially if you're early on the bandwagon. That's why you're here. I want to give you that inside track. Oh, and one more thing. Be very, very sure you are not stepping on someone else's toes. They can destroy your own life just as quickly with the same tricks I'm teaching you now. Keep a healthy dose of paranoia. And remember to watch your ass up there. It's not like every night is Halloween.